Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this video so more people can stay informed. Now, let's get into today's news. And trust me, this one matters.
I defer to Senator Paul.
Ayn Rand's Howard Roark points out the ingratitude that man has for the entrepreneur, the creator. Thousands of years ago, the first man discovered how to make fire. He was probably burnt at the stake he taught the others to light. But he left them a gift that had not been conceived, and he lifted darkness from the face of the earth. Now, Starbucks didn't exactly discover fire, but Starbucks did somehow, somewhere, discover in the depths of man's soul that he would pay as much for a double mocha latte as he once did for a week's worth of coffee. My wife Kelly and I tried to get my grandparents some fancy coffee once, and my grandfather, a survivor of the Depression, informed us in no uncertain terms that he drank Maxwell House, $3.99 for a week's worth of coffee. The Pauls, although German, often miss the zeitgeist of the times, and so while we continue to purchase Maxwell House, others, our contemporaries, bought Starbucks stock and did much better than we did. Who knew people would pay $6 for a cup of coffee? But I digress. Convincing the public to buy very expensive coffee is not the discovery of fire, but still it deserves respect. Instead, Congress convenes today not to praise Starbucks, but to bury them. The hearing today is convened to attack a private company for its success, when its success has benefited both customers and its employees alike. We've heard of the average wages, over $17. We've heard of the 401k plans. We've heard of the parental leave, even for part-time employees. Starbucks giving away tens of millions of dollars each year. They have 100% tuition and fee for a bachelor's degree. Maybe it doesn't sound like too bad a place to work. Starbucks is among the most charitable companies in the country. Since 2016, they've had a program to give away unused food to feed over 5 million hungry families. Starbucks didn't do all this under orders from a government bureau. They did it because capitalism works. We have more charity when we have more money, when we have more success, when we have more profit. Nobody buys $6 coffee in impoverished nations. We're an extraordinarily rich nation. Marion Tupy and Gail Pooley wrote a book called Superabundance. They say we live in an era of superabundance. Starbucks can only exist in an era of superabundance. The average calorie count since when I was born was about 2,800. It's gone up to 3,700. Many would argue you have too much food. You can buy 7 times as much food for the same amount of worker hours. If you measure stuff in time prices, how many hours of the average worker it takes to buy something, it's extraordinary how wealthy we are. Even in inflation-adjusted terms, from 1960 to today, 1950 to today, the average income, inflation-adjusted, is up 4-fold. These are all extraordinary tales. This is also an extraordinary tale of a company that started out of nothing and employs tens of thousands of people, all making great wages. And we're here to say as if this is like, Charles Dickens. I mean, we think it's 1812. I mean, it's an amazing success story we live in, the era of superabundance. In 1820, 96% of people lived on less than $2 a day. Adjusted for inflation, you know how much of the world lives that way? Less than 10%. Trade, capitalism, profit. People all the time are talking about, we want sustainable this and sustainable that. You know what's sustainable? Capitalism and profit and employment. You want to put all the Starbucks workers in the government dole? You want to have a government coffee company? What are we talking about here? If you don't want their coffee, be like my family and buy Maxwell House. But for goodness sakes, don't deride one of the great American success stories. This is not who we are. We are better than this. If the goal is to destroy the goose that laid the golden egg, then by all means, this hearing is a good beginning. For me, I see the fabulous success of Starbucks, and I understand that the luxury to spend an extraordinary amount of money for a cup of coffee is a testament to capitalism. It's a testament to the fact that we have enough money that we can do that. When I walk in Starbucks, I don't see billionaires buying coffee. I see everyone from top to bottom in there paying for the coffee because they've decided the quality is worth it. But I don't want to be part of any witch hunt that vilifies any American business, so count me out. Count me as one who is ecstatic that Starbucks is an American success story, and I'll have no part in trashing their success.
Today, Senator Rand Paul opened with an Ayn Rand quote, a familiar move whenever Republicans want to romanticize corporate power and frame billion-dollar companies as misunderstood victims. He compared Starbucks to some kind of heroic force lifting humanity out of darkness. But here in the real world, this hearing isn't about punishing innovation or attacking success. It's about asking whether the people who create Starbucks' wealth, its workers, are being treated fairly. Rand Paul goes on to celebrate the idea that convincing people to buy $6 lattes is equivalent to discovering fire. He talks about his grandparents, jokes about Maxwell House, and insists that because Starbucks sells expensive coffee, we should essentially bow before the company and never question its labor practices. But Democrats, led by Chairman Bernie Sanders, are here for something far more serious. Are Starbucks workers being intimidated, fired, or retaliated against for trying to unionize? Are billion-dollar corporations following federal labor laws or breaking them? Are workers being denied a voice in the workplace while executives and shareholders collect record profits? Rand Paul describes Starbucks' benefits, wages averaging $17 an hour, parental leave, tuition programs, as if they erase any wrongdoing. But good marketing does not excuse illegal union busting. A company can offer benefits and still break the law, and when employees across the country report threats, closures of unionizing stores, surveillance, and retaliation, Congress must pay attention. Democrats aren't here to bury Starbucks. We're here to defend the people who make Starbucks possible. Rand Paul repeatedly credits capitalism for every good thing in society, from food abundance to charity. But what he ignores, deliberately, is that the prosperity he's describing was built on workers' labor protections, regulations, and union power fought for by earlier generations. None of this came from unregulated corporations acting out of kindness. It came from holding corporations accountable through democratic systems. He warns that questioning Starbucks could destroy the goose that laid the golden egg. But Democrats reject that false choice. We can celebrate entrepreneurial success while also ensuring that workers have the right to organize, negotiate fair conditions, and share in the wealth they create. Rand Paul asks if we want a government coffee company. No. What Democrats want is simple. If a company succeeds because of its workers, those workers deserve respect, safe working conditions, and the freedom to unionize without fear. This is not a witch hunt. This is oversight. This is accountability. This is democracy at work. When Democrats look at Starbucks, we don't just see an American success story. We see the people behind it, the baristas, the shift supervisors, the partners who kept stores open through pandemics, economic shocks, and corporate restructuring. They deserve better than dismissals, firings, and union busting. So no, Democrats are not here to trash Starbucks. We're here to ensure that every American worker, whether they pour lattes or build airplanes, has the right to organize and be treated with dignity. This is who we are. This is what we stand for, and we're not backing down.